We have some very interesting topics to talk about in this video because not only does it seem that Outbreak has been completely replaced with a brand new mode for Black Ops 7's campaign, but a new Black Ops 7 leak has just dropped suggesting that Liberty Falls is going to be in Black Ops 7, not as an Outbreak map, but as a Warzone map. I am just as confused as you are, so in this video, we're going to dive into what the leakers are saying about this, as well as talking about the new version of Outbreak that will not be in zombies, but instead in campaign. I would love to know your thoughts about this in the comment section below as we get into it, but remember, when talking about anything like this, there is a chance that this is completely inaccurate information, and anything to do with leaks should be taken with a big pinch of salt because anything could change and probably will. But according to The Ghost of Hope as well as RealityUK, they've been told that the Resurgence map planned for Season 1 of Black Ops 7 is an extended Liberty Falls. So a big open world version essentially of Liberty Falls, with Reality following it up to say the map indeed takes place in Liberty Falls, featuring the Liberty Falls map obviously, as well as Shattered Vale among other places. Another source, Margwa Network, follows this up to say that it will include the mansion, the town, and a few other locations. It follows it up to say that as a reminder, the town of Liberty Falls was initially leaked last year to have been an Outbreak map for zombies. Now, I don't think we will ever truly know the real backstory on if Liberty Falls was initially an Outbreak map, and that map also having Shattered Vale as well as the Reckoning on it, and then they were broken up into round-based zombies maps, and now potentially getting it as a Resurgence map. I think what makes this so surprising is if it is true, it does back up quite a few different pieces of evidence that people have found over the last year or so that make this seem like a plausible thing. The first one is It's Perker pointing out this shot from the Reckoning's trailer, which is physically impossible to do in the actual map unless flung by SAM, where you're in a very particular part of the third tower in the sky. You can't glide over all three of these out of bounds like this. Now, I know that sometimes in zombies trailers stuff is set up for just cinematic purposes, and this is one of those moments, but at the very least it would be an area or something that would be actually available to the player. There is no situation in this map ever where you'll be floating in from the sky in this position where you wouldn't be landing on one of the towers. Another piece of evidence is just the fact that 3 zombies maps take place in the same area where you can physically see them all within each map. From a creative standpoint, that's never happened before in Treyarch Zombies, where half of the maps in the game have all taken place in the same place. It's definitely unusual, but is it strange? I mean, maybe, maybe not. But the most convincing piece of evidence is all the way back in May of last year, where Alan III 90 found strings in the COD HQ for an upcoming objective-based zombies mode, which included areas named Restaurant District and Chapel, leading to speculation that there absolutely was at some point a objective-based zombies mode being worked on, and with areas like the Chapel, well, that could be related to the church inside of Liberty Falls. The final piece of evidence is this weird glitched overview map which Margwa Network managed to get on the Shattered Vale that showcases Liberty Falls as a much larger area, not only showing the mansion within the play space, but then also showing markers for another area below the mansion, which is more likely than not the actual Liberty Falls zombies map. But we can see that there are these triangle markers everywhere, suggesting that all of these are unique things that can be marked on the minimap as places to go and activities to do. And why would this massive overview of Liberty Falls exist like this within Shattered Vale as the zombies map if there wasn't something originally planned where this overview map would have been used? Combining everything that we've mentioned, as well as the fact that it was also a multiplayer map in Black Ops 6, there is enough evidence that there is a claim to make on Liberty Falls not originally being its own round-based zombies map and being something else. But this new leak about it becoming a Resurgence Warzone map is crazy to me, because it's not the first time that we would have seen a zombies map turned into a Warzone map, as we saw with Mob of the Dead / Blood of the Dead being turned into Alcatraz for Blackout and then Rebirth Island. The difference here is that it was originally a zombies map first and foremost. It absolutely was. And they based the Battle Royale map on zombies but expanded upon it. However, with all of the claims and leaks over the last year and a half about the original version of Liberty Falls being an Outbreak map, there is an argument to make that what could be coming to Warzone could actually be the original vision for Liberty Falls, and that the Liberty Falls that we got for round-based zombies was originally taken from Warzone. We will never truly know exactly what came first, what is true, what isn't true. But in comparison to any other round-based zombies map that we've gotten in Black Ops 6, Liberty Falls, at least from an aesthetic point of view, is the least zombified out of all of them. And there can be arguments to make about why that's the case, where it's an outbreak that has only just started, so it wouldn't be overrun and completely chaotic, unlike an area that would have been completely ravaged by an outbreak and just torn to pieces, adding a bit more of a realistic lens to show what the very beginnings of an outbreak would look like on a town. This leak does make it hard to shrug off the idea that this could have been an open world battle royale map at first that was then mashed up and converted into several round-based zombies maps. Fundamentally, I think a zombies map becoming a Warzone experience isn't necessarily a horrible idea, as Rebirth Island hasn't tarnished Blood of the Dead or Mob of the Dead in any way. And if this leak is true, then I don't think it's going to tarnish Liberty Falls and the other round-based maps either. However, it will be a real shame to see an open world version of Liberty Falls as a bigger experience and it not be something we can experience in an outbreak mode, especially when so many people claim that Liberty Falls was originally planned to be an outbreak map. And despite many leaks over the last few months, if not year or so, about Outbreak coming to Black Ops 7, it really isn't coming to Black Ops 7. It is another year of round-based zombies, along with Dead Ops Arcade. And instead, Outbreak has been pushed aside for a completely different mode in Black Ops 7, which takes all of the fundamentals of Outbreak and Modern Warfare zombies, but it throws it on its head into a campaign setting rather than zombies. But I would love to know in the comment section what you guys prefer gameplay wise at this point in time, round-based zombies or open world style Outbreak zombies, because I've seen a lot of people more recently claim that they actually miss the open world Outbreak style gameplay and would rather that than another year of round-based, which really surprises me. My opinion is I am very happy with round-based zombies, not necessarily upset to not see an open world Outbreak style mode, but I wouldn't mind if they existed together, but it looks like that is not the case. So when it comes to Outbreak in BO7, what exactly is that looking like? Because it's not coming to zombies, but it is coming to campaign. And it isn't necessarily a Outbreak style mode, but more a Modern Warfare Zombies / DMZ style mode, where once you've completed the campaign, a 12th mission will unlock, which is a 32-player co-op mode called Endgame that throws you into the open world map of Avalon. Now, what is funny is all the way back in August of last year, it was leaked by Margwa Network as a rumor that Outbreak is returning in Black Ops 7 and will take place on the Avalon map. Now we know that is not the case, at least in zombies, because instead it is a mode within campaign. This is almost essentially a carbon copy of Modern Warfare Zombies, with the inventory system removed, but the element of surviving and leaving the experience over and over being key. Just like Outbreak and Modern Warfare Zombies, you'll be thrown into a massive world where there will be a ton of activities for you to do and complete across multiple regions that scale in difficulty, just like Modern Warfare Zombies. We even got shown a top-down view of the Avalon map at Treyarch that showed the zones where the more in the middle you go, the harder the zones will be, just like we saw with Modern Warfare Zombies. And even in the direct, we see a little bit of gameplay where it looks like the player is fighting some sort of zombie horde, which seems to suggest there could be some element of zombies within this mode. And similarly to Modern Warfare Zombies, it sounds like you'll be going in with specific story missions in mind where you'll complete and get a new story narrative and cutscenes and all sorts that will progress you through a new element of the story. But unlike Modern Warfare Zombies and Outbreak, this is a mode where by completing activities will rank up a combat rating, and every operator you take into Endgame will have their own rating that will progress by completing activities, assignments, and defeating enemies. By leveling up this combat rating, you can choose new power upgrades or skills that will increase your combat rating, such as increased health, armor, mobility, and damage. Skills in the mode are perk-like upgrades that specialize your operator into tracks built around a defined combat role, with each choice allowing you to advance the combat rating, which is a direct reflection of the acquired skills and power to take down enemies. And once you escape, you get to keep all of those skills and power, with the ultimate goal of reaching combat rating 60, which is 60 player selected upgrades, which will be a deep system of player choice and power, which is very different to anything we've seen before with Modern Warfare Zombies and Outbreak. Unlike Modern Warfare Zombies, but unlike Outbreak, you'll be able to choose your own loadout and operator selection, allowing you to bring in unlocked abilities from the campaign, along with any primary or secondary weapons into Endgame, as well as keeping equipment and weapons you've escaped with in a special field acquisition section of your loadout. It does sound genuinely interesting, and from what we learned, it sounds like they are also going to be updating this seasonally as well, alongside multiplayer and zombies, so it will be a constantly evolving world with new things to do like Modern Warfare Zombies. There is just no zombie element to it, which is a real shame because it has literally all of the DNA for it to be an Outbreak or Modern Warfare zombie style game mode, but they're just choosing not to do it and instead tying it in with campaign. I personally feel that if we had Liberty Falls as an Outbreak map experience, even if we got it now in Black Ops 7, whilst there would be a bit of fatigue in terms of the locales when we've already had them as round-based experiences, I still think it would be quite interesting to see how that would play, and to experience the town of Liberty Falls and the more wider region of it as a massive open play space where we could explore it and have fun with it in a zombie mode like Outbreak. I think a big reason here why people might not be necessarily happy with this idea is that we got what could be considered a compromised version of Liberty Falls into much smaller play spaces, when it will exist within Warzone potentially as a full huge world to explore, which would be a lot more interesting, I think. Now, the final point on this, which is again a little bit strange considering the leak that we've had today, is that all the way back in November of 2024, Alan the Third 90 discovered strings of code relating to some sort of objective within an upcoming mode that says, "Control. A meteorite has broken apart above the area, scattering fragments of element 115 across the AO. Each fragment is highly volatile and must be destroyed. The guild is already on site, attempting to retrieve them, locate and destroy every fragment, and eliminate any threats in the area." Now, without context, we had no idea what this was, but we assumed that it could have been an objective from a Zombies Outbreak style mode because it mentions element 115. The next part obviously mentions the words "the guild," which we now know is obviously relating to Black Ops 7. But how weird is it that this might have some sort of element 115 narrative and objective added within this, but it isn't zombies, but it's in fact the campaign endgame? If it is true, then it is very, very strange.